he was so hyped, and I'm like, yes, like that's my brother.
And this is our show. Hello, welcome to the Sonic Movie Show, the only show about Sonic news, movie news, and Sonic movie news. My name is Ethan, and with me here to talk all about Sonic Central 2023 is my friend Devin.
Hi everyone, welcome to the third annual Sonic Central.
Can you believe that I forgot that this was the third one? I thought this was the second one. I did not realize there were three of them until I started.
To be honest with
getting
you, I
notes.
don't know how many there was before this one. I didn't pay that much attention.
They did one for the 30th
So.
anniversary in 2021, and then one last year, and then this one. I think the reason why we're like, there was three? I thought there was two. It's because all three of these are basically the same thing. They talk about Sonic Origins. This is the third year in a row where Sonic Origins is talked about. They do mobile garbage with Sonic Dash and the mobile Sonic
Roblox.
Forces. Roblox was in two of them, first in this one. Fall Guys was in the last one. The Sonic Symphony is talked about in each and every single one. Sonic Prime is talked about in each and every single one.
To be fair, this we had season 2, but yes, conceptually, yes.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them. In fact, actually, let me run down the previous two, and then we'll talk about this one, just really hyper fast. Sonic Central 2021 was 12 minutes and 23 seconds long. Opens with Sonic Symphony. Then talks about the non-Mario and Sonic Olympic Games, just the Tokyo Olympic Games. There's a Sonic outfit.
That's right. It was like a track and field, like
yep, in a
wearing
Sonic
like a
outfit.
mask, wear a mascot outfit of Sonic.
Exactly. 2 Point Hospital has Sonic outfits. The arcade game Sonic the Fighters is one of the arcade games you could play in the Yakuza team's Lost Judgment video game. Sonic Colors Ultimate was either announced or was just shown again. Roger Craig Smith gets on to talk about an animated series of shorts about Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps. Sonic Origins was announced, and it was some generic Sonic 1, 2, and 3 gameplay. Amazon Luna and PlayStation Now were getting some of the PS4 era Sonic games. Bunch of mobile
LOL,
crap.
Amazon
Luna.
Luna. What happened to that?
It's still around. It's outlived Stadia. It's what people wanted, a subscription, and you get everything on there. I don't know. I don't use it. They actually sell controllers for it too, which is wild. Sonic Prime, no footage. It was just, hey, here's the main guy in charge. I didn't write his name, but the studio is Man of Action Entertainment. A shit ton of merch. We got our King Ice from there. And then the Sonic Frontiers teaser, no name, with that weird random hieroglyphic at the end that was supposed to be cryptic and confusing. And then even the game didn't really outwardly tell you what that even was. So that was 2021. 2022 was a whole little bit under 2 minutes shorter. This one was 10 minutes and 42 seconds. It opens with Sonic Origins, a bunch of mobile crap, Sonic Prime, this time with footage. A reminder that Sonic 2 is on Blu-ray. Merchandise. The Sonic Symphony is around again. Fall Guys. And then a Sonic Frontiers animated short plus a snippet of the IGN First gameplay stuff, which you remember last year, Sonic IGN First stuff.
It was like segmented out.
Yeah.
It was
Like,
weird.
go
it was
check
a weird
out IGN, which was very weird. Yeah.
Like now knowing what the game is and everything, like, and I'm glad the game is good and we say it's the best Sonic game. But yeah, it was such a weird way to just showcase that game. I get what they were trying to do, but just the way it was segmented didn't make any sense, really.
They should just did stuff you're talking?
They should just done a 30-minute, compile all of it into one thing, and then just
with
call it a day.
With someone
It was
talking
like,
about what you do. Like, if we had the framework of what that game was like, then the gameplay they shown would have been, like, a lot cooler. Because it looked weird and bad. I don't know. They needed to have a demo out. I feel like
it still sold.
Oh yeah, and we're on the record saying it's the best Sonic game of all time.
Best Sonic game.
Fight us on.
Come at us. Yeah, come at us.
So where's the past 2 years? This one, 2023's, was 19 minutes and 44 seconds, and I will say at the very least, it didn't feel like it was that much longer than the others. Maybe it's because I kind of zoned out during the Roblox and the mobile game stuff and the Sonic Symphony for the third time. But what did you
quickly
think about
flashed
it?
the dates. I was gonna say they quickly flashed the dates for the Sonic Symphony, and I'm like, if Denver's here, I'm gonna call my boy Ethan up, have him come out here. We could go to the Sonic Symphony, but they're not.
Damn.
I think the nearest was like
the SMS budget would have been able to afford for my plane ticket too. So
right.
Let's go through what they kind of talked about. We kind of open with Sonic Origins Plus. Yes, our third year in a row where we talk about Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, plus a bunch of now Game Gear games, which are, I guess, kind of blurry and ugly looking. Amy's playable. They briefly was excited to talk about Super Amy, but I don't think they showed that. Either that or she's the same color as normal. I couldn't really tell. It's just more Sonic Origins. If there's DLC trophies for it, I might get it and revisit it. But
they also were saying too that like you could pay the difference, I think, to get the DLC if you already bought the game. Which that's pretty normal for this kind of stuff.
That's what they did with Sonic Mania. And honestly, like, I have a feeling Superstars will be the same way, where here's a new 2D Sonic thing. In a year, here's a newer version of that thing. You can pay the difference, like you said, as DLC.
Sonic Superstars Super.
Yeah. Ultra Super Sonic Stars. Just completely swap Sonic and Super in the title.
Just add a bunch of adjectives that are very similar.
No, you just retitle it as Super Sonic Stars. You know what I mean?
Super
it's a
Sonic
brand new game. I never bought Sonic Mania Plus. I think that's what it was called. Plus. The edition added our boy Mike Myers as Ray, or as Mighty the Armadillo, Ray the Flying Squirrel, and like a couple more levels. And I just never played it. I don't know. I think mainly because Mania didn't have a platinum trophy. I was like, I played through it once on my Switch, and then that was it. I don't know. You played a little bit of Mania too, right?
I don't remember. I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Well, give it a shot. It's a really fun game. I think as far as classic Sonic games go, it's the best one. But it has a lot of.
Was that the one we played
stuff.
The first Sonic on? No, I played that on Switch.
Oh yeah. That was a standalone thing. Mania was a new game with a lot of old levels in it, kind of remade.
There's been so many of these, and they're all kind of blurring in my head. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's been too many of these bundles and Origins and the originals and remasters.
And Origins was kind of boring. Like they had an opportunity to add new levels to the old games or remix them in some interesting ways. It was really just the game in 16:9, more freedom on the characters you can play as. Obviously now they add Amy. And like the mission modes were decent. I got 2 platinum trophies out of it, so like I can't really argue. I got in, got out, got gone, as I like to say. So
I mean, I don't
Origins
have
Plus,
time really for video games in general, so like, and since we do a lot of Sonic for homework mostly,
that's true.
Sometimes I don't want to just play Sonic. I mean,
we're gonna have to start talking about that homework too. We're gonna have
I know.
It's time to start.
Every time we get to like the 75 mark, I'm like, fuck.
Halfway through the season,
I gotta start doing it because I know it's gonna sneak up. It does every time.
I think. So we might as well just talk about it, but not say exactly what it is, just kind of tease a little bit. For every 50 episodes, we do a big deep dive on a Sonic video game. We did Sonic 1, the original first, for our 50th episode. 100th episode was Sonic Adventure. 150 was Sonic 06. And now for 200, we're doing a new Sonic game. It is a fan favorite in Sonic terms, you know what I mean? So like, I'm excited to get it going, but we have.
I'm actually more out of all the ones that we've played for it, for these 50 episodes. This one I'm looking forward to the most.
Same.
I don't want to be let down. I don't, but I'm afraid I might.
Well, as someone that played it back in the day, the game we're going to be playing is going to be not as bullshit as 06, but there's going to be a lot of what the fuck do I have to keep doing
06, I didn't even technically finish 06.
No, you had to watch my video of the last level.
Because both the controller and then I was just struggling with the game being the game.
I have to show you how to fix that PS3 controller. It's really simple.
One of these days we'll
walk you through it. So yeah, Sonic Origins Plus, cool. I'm excited. If you're happy about this out there, let us know in the comments below in this YouTube video. Sonic Frontiers has an update that's up to right now. Sonic's birthday update. Add some little things as well as like a costume or whatever. New Game Plus is in here. Can I ask you, have you ever done a New Game Plus in a game before? Because I know you play God of War. You know,
I love God of War, but like I didn't even. once again, it's a time thing. Like maybe I would have done it if like I moved my save over when I first got the PS5. I feel like that was the opportunity for me to do like the original one.
Yeah,
Uh,
at a higher frame
I
rate.
still haven't even. I did the story mode in Ragnarok. Spider-Man never did it either. Even after platinuming that and doing everything
Yeah.
in that game, I kind of was just like, no, I'm satisfied. I'm very much a like. I know you are this way with like a lot of movies too, where it's like watching it once or playing it once. I'm usually pretty like be like, cool, that was a fun journey. Maybe one day I'll return, but not anytime soon.
I got you.
Maybe 15 years down the road, I will return to Dino Crisis. So no, yeah, that's
Okay.
not my cup of tea, but I don't know. Maybe for this, if it's a quick like just to try out for an hour, I might give it a
Yeah,
shot.
because I'm
But
curious. I mean, we could technically probably do it now and just find out. Some people are probably talking about it online because we're recording this the day of Sonic Central. I'm probably also going to try to get this video up as soon as possible too. Um, I've done a few new Game Plus stuff, but there's definitely like different tiers. There is the you just get to start over with all your shit, but nothing changes, which just feels a little uninspired. It feels like, okay, you just want an excuse to do more of the cool end game stuff, with some story content, it kind of like abilities and whatnot. I'm thinking about Spider-Man or whatever. I never did the new game plus on Spider-Man. One, I did it in Miles Morales because it was required for the platinum, and it was the exact same. I didn't change difficulty modes, or maybe I did for a trophy. I don't remember, but nothing changed about that. I think God of War is the same way because at least the Sony ones, they tend to add them in after the fact. God of War
like, yeah, it's
2018's
like
was
six
after
months
the fact.
after. It's
They
like
got
6 months
same thing with
after.
photo mode sometimes too. God of War got its photo mode well after people beat it already early. But I've done some new Game Plus stuff. I know Kingdom Hearts 3 I think added a new Game Plus, but I never went back to that game. I should replay it. I think though that the best type of new game plus, even if they're not called new game plus, are the ones where they add in new content and they challenge you further. You see this in a lot of action games like Devil May Cry, Metal Gear Rising, Bayonetta, where you can go back and you have your upgrades and stuff. You're just trying to get those S ranks. You're trying to do better, perform better. And I think just the one that comes to memory of like the best new game plus that I've done is Final Fantasy VII Remake, where bosses have new moves. It assumes you're already at max level. It's a hard mode. It assumes you're at max level. You can't start over even if you wanted. And there's new things to get in there. Story's still the same, and the way that game works out story wise, you have an actual curiosity after finishing that game to go, wait a second, what about this moment? And you just go through the story again, knowing things from the ending. I assume
Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers is going to be like the former, where it is just like all your stats are maxed and you're just running through.
Well, I thought they said new challenges. Maybe I misheard, but so I
I think
don't
that
know
was
what that
maybe
means.
that was just in the
like,
update that there was new challenges. We're gonna have to give it a shot or look into it.
but I
And
saw
just
there's
see.
different skins, like the actual like
His skin
guess,
is falling off.
well, no, I meant like the so like not like Sonic has that birthday hat, whatever.
Yeah.
But like the actual environment had like it looked like birthday
Oh,
kind
I
of
didn't
like
catch
colors.
that. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it was early in the morning for me. So in Mountain
It
Time
was
at least.
earlier
So,
in the morning for me. No, it was later in the
um,
morning for me. Never mind.
yeah, because it was what 8.
It was
Yeah,
at
because I remember
11 for
texting
me.
you. I'm like, damn, 8 Pacific time or whatever, or 9 Pacific time, whatever time it was. I was like, damn, this is early. I feel bad for the social media folks because I do that. I always think about those people. I'm like, yeah, they probably had to get up a couple hours early, make sure triple check everything is good, and
Yeah.
make sure the stream can run because I'm sure that's something I would stress about every time for these kind of things.
Well,
It's like, okay, it's
it
got to
was
get up at.
it was a YouTube premiere, so it was just a pre-recorded video.
But it was on Twitch too. That's where I watched it.
Oh, okay. I watched it on YouTube.
So someone has to still,
hit play on. Yeah, that's true.
hit press
true.
play. So,
That's true.
well, actually, can't you do like upload? You can upload
You're
videos. On it. I'm
right,
not sure.
you're right.
But I don't know if you can premiere them. I'm not sure how that
Hmm.
works. Never did that before.
Yeah. Interesting. You know what's not interesting to me? Roblox. I'm an adult man. I don't mean to be condescending
Damn,
about it, but
he's calling the
Roblox is
Roblox
not for
out.
me. I actually heard that. So like, there was that Roblox Sonic Speed Storm, Speed Force, whatever it's called. They announced that back in the 2021 one, and I had heard that apparently it sucks because they make you really slow and you have to like grind a lot to go faster or whatever. But it got an update where you can be Sonic in a tuxedo. That's great. Not for me. Maybe it is for you. Let us know in the comments how much you love
It's
Roblox.
for the kids.
Yeah,
But this,
yeah.
I want to,
But
before
Sonic's
we even
for
dive.
the kids.
Yeah, right. But then I actually want to like dive into that a little bit because as I'm watching this, I'm like, who is this for? Because that's all about marketing, right? You have to ask the question, who is your target audience when you're doing these things? And these are annual things, so we're getting one every year. This isn't like a Nintendo Direct where they're dropping this, every 4 or 5 months, every quarter, let's say. So I'm like, okay, it's every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always, like, so far, most of it's been just like, this is a reminder you can buy our product.
Yeah,
because like that's the thing is like this is supposed to be for like
advertisement
for Sonic fans, right? I feel like Sonic fans already bought these products.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, we
so
have
like
the
I'm
merch
just I'm like, who is this
coming,
for?
It's all just
that's like I get the Roblox thing, maybe like a kid's watching it and they're like, well, I also play Roblox and I will go install it, I guess.
Yeah,
but I'm like, parents probably aren't watching this, right? I mean, there's us because
unless
we're
they're Sonic fans,
knuckleheads, but
yeah, I mean, okay, so Sonic.
That's my biggest thing with like watching this. I'm like, cool.
A bit of an announcement. You go back to the 2021 one. They did tease Sonic Frontiers at the end. That was a bit of an announcement. I don't know if Sonic Colors Ultimate was already announced or anything like that, but
I just feel like it's a lot of like filler,
it's mostly
or
just reminders. Yeah, you're right.
But like, I'm like, who are you reminding? If like, I'm assuming people who are going out of their way to watch the Sonic Central, have probably already bought all the Sonic things, or at least have thought about it. Like, it's not like, I don't know, it's not like a Game Awards or something where they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that game that just won this award. Yeah. Oh yeah, I meant to buy that. Or hey, it's on sale right now. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? It's different. It's like this is already supposed to be for the fans. It's like DC Fandom back in the day there. Where like you already know that it's more to build hype. So right. I can see it like a little bit of that in this, but overall it just feels like reminders.
And we got
like
movie trailers in the DC Fandom. It wasn't like this.
And interviews
and
the
flashes on
announcements.
Blu-ray. Yeah. You know what I think this is for? This is for young kids that don't have a job because they're a child, trying to hype them up to bug their parents again. Please, we need to resubscribe to Netflix so I can watch Sonic Prime. Oh my God, Sonic Origins Plus is coming out. You need to get it. It comes with a sticker or whatever it came with.
It makes sense. There was Tails Tube. I know we're not there yet on our list, but there's Tails Tube. And I made a joke on our Twitter. I was saying, and there should be Rouge Hub.
Wow, that's a good one.
For the adults.
Sure.
Tails Tube and Rouge Hub, baby.
And X Shadows for your alternative version. That's what I think it's for. You finally get it. I think it's for the younger kids, I guess, or maybe us that are just like, I do remember that Samba de Omega was a thing. I guess I should pre-order that on Switch. I don't know. It is mostly just reminders. It's weird. But yeah, we had Sonic Prime Season 2. Having not watched the first season, I don't really know, but it looks like we get more Shadow in this one. But, it's a completely different voice cast. I think one day we'll get to it. So it's interesting.
I think one day we'll get to it. But, folks, in case you haven't figured this out yet, it's hard to even just do what we're doing now consistently. So adding a whole TV show. I said,
we used to try to do TV show season reviews, and then we stopped after 2 seasons.
Because it's just too much.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we said earlier.
You still have my Blu-ray set, by the way, unless you gave it back.
I know.
I don't remember.
50. So like I said, every 50 episodes we do a Sonic game. Like I said, I'm stressed about that.
That's a big one. That's a big deal. But it's like the thing I'm most proud of about for this show is that. You know what I mean?
We still have other ideas that maybe one day we'll too, but
Oh
time.
my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just a little inside baseball. The thing we're talking about, we thought about doing in January. We were like, we're after Chronicles Diesel is over, we're gonna take a month and then brainstorm, and now it's June, almost July.
Hey, we'll take a
I'm
year.
okay,
We'll take a year.
whatever.
We'll take a year.
Yeah. We need to get. This
I'd rather
stuff
it be
sorted
good
out.
anyways than force it. So,
But if you want to
Heck,
see more cool stuff, why don't you hit that subscribe button? There's a little bell down there.
if you're on
Click it.
YouTube.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are.
If you're
'cause
listening, if
gonna
you
watch us on
download this
YouTube.
and you're in the car right now on your way to Texas or wherever you're going,
Texas is a big place.
It's a
You're
big
gonna,
place.
You have
I
a
mean,
lot of episodes. You
Yeah,
could probably
you have a
play
lot of
one of these
episodes.
Sonic games and be finished by the time you cross Texas.
So if you can't do that when you get home or wherever safe place, do not be texting driving.
Yeah.
Go
Some of our
subscribe to the YouTube channel.
episodes are almost as long as an entire playthrough of Sonic Forces. So, you know, there's that.
At least how we played it.
Speaking about Sonic garbage, like Forces, there is Sonic Forces, the mobile game, and Sonic Dash, which I remember playing in 2013 on my iPhone 5.
They said that they were the original fast-paced
Temple Run was
I don't
definitely
know-
before that.
Yeah, that I don't know how they described it, but I was like, no, that's definitely Temple
Endless
Run.
Runner, I think they said.
I remember that. Yeah, Endless
Yeah.
Runner. I'm like, no, that's bullshit.
At least Temple Run was before that.
But Temple
Yeah.
Run cannot challenge that because I don't know if they.
They probably not the first either, but they were before Sonic Dash.
I mean, I'm just meaning do they? I don't know. Are they still around? I hope so.
I don't know.
I guess.
It is insane to me, though, seeing the Sonic Dash footage, and it's the same as I played it
clearly
decade
making money.
ago.
Money enough to keep putting little things into it.
Yeah, I mean,
Must
it
be a
had
player base.
microtransactions, I think, back then. I don't remember if it was free to play or if I had to buy it on my phone. I don't remember. But, wow.
What happened
crazy.
to the mobile games, man? When you think about it,
It was a race to
because
the
I
bottom.
remember, growing up, I was gonna say we had the, I almost said DoorDash, the one you just said
Diner
there.
Dash.
Diner
No, Sonic Dash.
Sonic Dash. Well, you had the jungle one, and then
Run.
you had Temple Run, and then you had Angry Birds, and then you had Candy Crush. But there's no one been there to fill that. What are people playing?
It's
I don't
all
know.
the horny gotcha games. Candy Crush is still a thing for the millions of people that are sucked into
I'm not saying
that.
it's not around, but I'm saying there hasn't been a conversation. I guess Fortnite you could play on mobile, so I guess that was
Well,
kind of
here's
hot
the thing.
for a minute.
I think we look back at 2009 was the cut the rope Angry Birds
Cut the
big
rope.
big thing, right?
Doodle Jump.
That was pre Angry Birds, and yes, I played that on my iPhone 3G.
Yeah, I remember. I think I had an Android at that point, and I remember Doodle Jump because I had the not. It was flat, but the way it was angled on the screen made it look like it was 3D or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I played Field Runners a lot on my phone too. Tower defense games on early iPhones were awesome. It was the only good games you could play. But all of these, I think, were talked about in more of the gaming space, the general, because it's new and exciting and wow, and and some of these are really cheap compared to DS games. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. And I feel like that's such a niche market now. I think there's two types. There is the horny gotcha games, these anime horny gotcha games. Nintendo even jumped into that with Fire Emblem. The fact that Fire Emblem makes more money on mobile than Mario Kart is insane to me. You know what I mean? But that's true. And I got into that game in a big way, and I realized, oh my god, I'm spending too much money on a
In a
mobile
big
game.
way, folks.
In a
big way.
Massive way. In
Huge.
just the most gigantic ways possible. They really did that in that Nintendo game. I was like, holy shit. I should show you some pictures later. It is insane
think I've really
that
seen
an
it,
official
so.
Nintendo product gets away with some of this stuff. I digress. But there's that aspect, and then there is the Fortnites and that type of stuff where it's a lot of heavy
PUBG Mobile.
microtransactions and not the randomized character stuff. And it's such a niche market that's I would say you have your console games, you have your PC types of games. They're technically the same market, but sometimes they can be considered different. Mobile games is way more far away than the PC and console stuff, in my opinion. It's like when we used to say Facebook games, and we're like, who would play those? The Facebook gamers do, and to them it's a different thing. You know what I mean?
Farmville, dude. You had to be there.
Absolutely. To harass your grandma to plant
Well,
seeds for you or whatever.
on mine, it never, like always crashed. I couldn't really
Really?
do anything. My computer just couldn't handle it. No.
Could not handle the Flash version of
It
Farmville.
it was probably the browser was out of date. I mean, it was an old Mac, like Mac Home or whatever it was
Mac
called,
Mini,
Apple Home.
something like that.
Yeah, from like 2002. So
Oh, yeah.
it was cool at the time when we had it like I think pretty early, but then it was just
You were like the
never
only
got anything.
person that I knew that had a Mac.
I grew up on Mac. It's pretty crazy.
A family
Like
member of mine. Yeah.
it took me a long time to like figure out PC, and like honestly, if it wasn't for like the take home laptops from high school, I don't know like if I would have been able to figure out like
Really?
when I got my first computer, like because that's the only way I knew how to do it was through like computer lab. I had to just figure it out.
I see. 2002, 3, and 4 era Macs were awesome. You had that
Iraq War era maps.
Yes, the Iraq
Era
War.
Macs.
That was like the peak Steve Jobs design era, where you would get an iMac that was like a little pod was the main computer where your disk tray was, and then like literally like a desk lamp arm would come up, and that's where the monitor was. Beautiful machine. I say that legitimately. The Apple Cube, I forget what they called it, but the Macintosh Cube thing, where it had no fan, and it was just like a central, or maybe it had a fan. It was extremely quiet, but it had such a central cooling
CD-ROM on it too.
Yeah.
As well, I believe that's what we had because that's how I'd burn discs and shit.
Well, I think you might have a different one than I was talking about. Maybe you did, but there was
Maybe
one
like a second generation or
if
something.
If you put maybe a second generation, because this one, if you put a piece of paper on top, the thing wouldn't be able to cool itself, and it would shut down. But beautiful machines, those early 2000s Apple stuff. I would love to keep some as like display things. Speaking about blasts from the past in like the early 2000s, there was a Sega franchise called Samba de Amigo, which is now getting a return with a more street graffiti vibe, which is probably a good way to update it. It's coming to Nintendo Switch, and yeah, there's Sonic Generations' version of Escape from the City's assets are in a level, and like a couple Sonic songs.
I did like. I don't know if you noticed in the video they were showing of Sonic dancing and stuff. In the background, they had the truck from Escape from the City, and it was dancing too with like parts coming out of it.
Nice.
I laughed. I was like, okay, that is goofy as hell, and I appreciate that someone spent time to make that.
That's
at
fun.
the very least. I'm not gonna get it, but
no.
Hey, the dancing truck.
Yeah,
dancing to the beat with its spikes and shit. Like that's
one
funny.
thing I did appreciate too was and they mostly saw this at the end where there was like the weird clapping things going up on screen. They were missing a lot of them. It was definitely not perfect gameplay of the game where they weren't
they're showing you what your actual experience was.
Right, because you see some of these Just Dance ones where it just feels like you watch a video because it's just going on by itself. So I'm glad that or maybe the game just is so laggy.
It's like selling Guitar
input.
Hero and it's showing them failing. That'd be hilarious. Ad be like, this could be you.
Dunk, dunk,
you can't
dunk.
play. You cannot play Barracuda.
Right? Wasn't it that if you strummed in Guitar Hero not on a thing, it played it but like out of key, like out of tune or something like that? As
it was like
you failed,
or do it like it would do like a noise.
Okay. But yeah.
God bless Guitar Hero. Rest in peace.
You know what? Cannot rest in peace because it goes on forever. The Sonic Symphony is returning again. You mentioned it's not in Denver. Rest in peace, Denver.
Because we're kind of a big area sometimes for the Midwest to West, before you get to the coast area. So sometimes we get it's either that or Salt Lake City. Usually, one of us gets it. So I was like, okay, if they're doing a U.S. tour, I'm like maybe, and no.
Yeah. Well, they definitely added more locations and dates than initially announced. This year it was just 3 places. It was like London and San Francisco and LA or something like that. Where it was you can't call that a world tour.
Let me see if I can find
Yes, your plane flies once, but is that a world tour?
It is a lot of money. I go back to this. It's not a world tour unless you're doing at least 5 countries and it takes 2 months. To me, that's an actual world tour. Not saying it isn't challenging and not difficult, and
San Francisco to LA is a couple hour flight, but you're in the same.
Okay, there's a lot more than 3. There's actually
they added more. Yeah, for sure.
So it's starting in September of this year. It's London, Paris, LA, Brazil, Boston, Chicago. Then they go from Chicago to the Mitsubishi Electric Hall in Dusseldorf, and I think that's Germany. San
Okay.
Antonio, Atlanta, Seattle, playing at the Paramount Theater. In San Francisco, DC, Kansas City, Tokyo, Toronto, Montreal, and Portland. So I guess for me, if I
They're
wanted to really
weaving
go,
in and out of the United States if those are in sequence. Like,
there's like 7 day gaps between some of these, maybe 15 on some of them, because it goes from this September to March. So it is, I guess, I kind of world tour. I take it back.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
a world tour.
yeah.
I
They
get it's
also
like a big
they made a
ensemble,
point
so it's
too
not
to
like a
say,
rock band where you're all in a tour bus. You know what I mean?
God.
Hitting up all these venues.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want to see them all on a tour bus.
It's a lot of people. As it's not like three dudes. They made a
But
point
we
to
can
say
email them to tell them that like it'll like it says just subscribe to let them know when they come to the area. But like, hey, if we send enough to Denver folks,
Maybe.
I'll go there live and stream the whole thing. I'm sure they would frown upon that, but I'll do it.
It sounds like it's
Just
going to
kidding, I won't
more
do that.
places in Asia than just Tokyo, because they just said in Tokyo kicks off the Asian tour as well, which is
Yeah, maybe this is
or whatever.
I mean,
However,
I'm
they
on their
phrased it.
website, but
Yeah, it's just Tokyo. It sounds like.
do they have tour shirts? I wonder.
It's just gonna be Sonic with the baton. That's probably it, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it says World Tour on the back.
World tour.
It's in like a cool metal font.
Sure.
I would buy that legitimately if it was like Sonic Sympathy, but they just made it like look like a metal band, like a metal tour shirt. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, they do the virtual band thing with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. They
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
Not, I don't mean like play the Sonic music. I mean like you make a virtual band, Gorillas,
Oh.
or like any of like the
Okay.
Japanese, Hatsune Miku stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's a hologram thing.
Right.
Yeah, do that shit. But have
And
it
they
be
just
Sonic.
it's this like melodic death metal, like straight Norwegian.
Whatever
shit.
it is, it doesn't matter. Speaking
I'd pay
about
for it.
the idea of whatever that was, Tails Tube. I don't know if you've ever seen that before. It's a YouTube short series, I think. I don't
It's
know
for
how long
kids.
they
It's
are.
fine.
Yeah, like it's a Tails VTuber thing. I guess it's getting another.
Hey, Tails, get your
season.
money, baby. Tails, get
I'm
your money.
curious
Start out
because clearly it was not a live segment that they did there, even if it was live and recorded as such and then put in the video. That was an edited thing. I've never seen any of them. I don't know if they're actually VTubers or if it's just really well animated to look like them.
I think it's just probably pre-recorded. It's called Tails Tube and not Tails Twitch. You know what I mean? It's for YouTube
That's
and
two.
not a
That's two. Well, I think the VTuber, Tails Tube,
Tails Tub.
Tails Tub, Tails in the Tub. It was kind of
Tails
cute.
is stuck in the tub.
Get him out. Rated 18 and older. It's not rated 18 and older. All the merchandise stuff, your Jack
I don't know, that
specific
Rouge one.
toys, all the shirt, the Rouge the Bat shirt, which is. Here's my thing. If I'm getting a T-shirt based off a video game property, I want it to be original art. I don't want to be a PNG I can find online anyway. You know what I mean? Because
I
that
feel
Rouge
ya.
the Bat one is from 2001. That's Sonic Adventure 2
know.
artwork. It's just there forever. Now some of the classic stuff hits a little bit better.
Like literally,
to
I just
me.
googled Rouge the Bat T-shirt, and it's that design on just like by all these bots that are making them, but like
Search-
it's all the
Add Yeti at the end, because there was one that I saw looked pretty good. I don't know if I texted it to you, and then I almost got the
how do you
Shadow the
spell
Hedgehog one.
at Yeti.
No, just
how do you spell
add to the end of it. YETEE.
Oh, I thought you were saying like it was the company names was Ad Yeti.
No, sorry.
Let me see if I can find it. They might not have it anymore.
Oh,
Or
it's
it's
not. It was one of those
search.
like it's a 20 like my Knuckles hoodie. It was in that style, but it was Rouge. My Knuckles hoodie that came 3 sizes larger than I ordered, and the zipper disappeared after a couple days of wearing it. So Yeti stuff
sucks.
might not be all that good, but the design was cool, and it's always original art, which is nice.
But no, I agree with like the design. There's one company I've followed the last couple years called Cavity Colors. They do a
That's
lot
an
of like
interesting
horror
name.
movies, but it's all licensed stuff. But they have artists like basically they get the license for it, and then they have the artists like doing. There's kind of different styles for each artist, so it's pretty cool. But like, I have that one Predator shirt I got from there.
Okay.
I have one that's Hedorah from Godzilla, because they did one just for like Godzilla versus the monster.
I like that type of shit because
yeah,
it's easy to gatekeep nerddom based off how niche or how deep a cut you're representing stuff. I get it, but like at the same time, when you're the type, what you just described is not basically like wearing a Nike logo on a shirt where you're just advertising the brand. Because to me, wearing that Rouge shirt that they showed off feels like it's just advertising the brand of Sonic and Sega and Rouge the Bat to other people, and not a style thing.
Yeah, no, that like they make stuff that like I don't like all their stuff. It's not not all the stuff is my personal stuff, but like they usually have like one that's kind of a like a tie-dye kind of look. That's how my Predator one is. It's like the neon green like his blood, and like it fits aesthetically, but just I don't know. I got a lot of compliments wearing it in the past too. So
there you go.
But yeah, they do a lot of horror stuff. Like they just did Planet of the Apes, and I got shit because I was like, there isn't any Planet of the Apes merch anywhere I could find. I looked on eBay and everything, so I'm like, I got an ape shirt coming.
Was Planet of the Apes a horror movie? Well, Godzilla is a horror movie.
They just do like, it's not a horror, I would say, but they do like that kind of sci-fi as well. But generally speaking, they do horror. That's how they first started. They did like Friday the 13th, Halloween. They did Aliens. Bryn has Aliens sweatpants. It's pretty cool because it has
Alien or Aliens.
Aliens. She has the face hugger and it goes down the pant leg. And it says Aliens on the other side. So,
interesting.
And they make some cool stuff.
There's a lot of
maybe
merch
one
stuff
day Sonic movie show.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
We'll have us on it, but drawn.
Oh my god, we need to make an official Sonic movie show OC. It's like Sonic OC. You know what I mean?
So we need
to make a character that we can put on logos and shit.
I mean, it's the gamer kid, really.
Yeah, but a lot of people did that. You know what I mean? A lot of people did that. That's why we ranked him in the last episode of the Sonic movie show. Like I was saying, there was a lot of merch stuff. No G Fuel this time, which was interesting.
I know. I never found the Knuckles G Fuel.
Yeah,
at least not. I didn't get a special order.
I guess they just stopped that licensing deal. Now Lego gets its own segment here, and I will say this: the Dr. Eggman Lego rap was funny and good, and I enjoyed it, and it was well.
Lego knows how to like do their shit.
Yeah,
they have it down pat. They know how to find deals, cross deals. They know how to promote that shit. They know what they're doing for sure over there. I don't even really care for Legos personally, or like maybe if I have a kid one day, maybe I'll be more into it. But like they do shit for adults really well. Like what I mean? Like
I
Batman, Fast and the Furious.
I have my Fast and Furious. Well, it's in another room, and I have to put parts of it back together. But yeah, they make giant display pieces where like they'll literally show pictures of adults putting the final touch on it in like a nice fancy home. They're willing to charge you $800 for a Death Star. No kid ever is going to play with that unless they're a 0.1%er. You know what I mean?
I have seen a meme though of Lego. Like they said they've always kept up with like the militarization of police over the years. Like in the 50s, they had just like a regular like classic like policeman, and nowadays they have like the SWAT armor and shit like that. I'm like, oh my god,
the Lego City shit, man. The Lego City shit.
Be tough on crime in Lego.
Yeah, beat up the non-yellow Lego people in.
Oh my god.
Lego.
So
but we gotta remember, they're German. It's a German company.
They don't understand. It's cultural.
They could have made Nazi shit. That's all I'm saying. They didn't. They didn't.
That's true.
And Legos are just really expensive, but we all like them.
True.
If I had a lot, it's one of those things where everyone says, if I had a lot of money, I would get a couple Lego things as a treat.
If I had a lot of money, I'd have a giant statue of Sonic the Hedgehog in the background just to stunt. So
yeah, exactly.
Just to be like, yeah, we have. Exactly. Hey, maybe not many people listen to the podcast, but we have a giant Sonic the Hedgehog, one of its kind, in the background on set. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, they've had at E3 like over a decade ago. I think they bring this back. I think this was a statue at Sega's booth or Sega's area that made return visits even though the game it was meant to promote wasn't around, or maybe it was just for that game. But there was a Shadow the Hedgehog statue. He's huge. And he's holding his Desert Eagle down, and people are taking photos of them right in front of the gun. Like, no, being executed by Shadow the Hedgehog.
That's great.
Yeah. And then we kind of close out Sonic Central 2023 with Sonic Superstars as a reminder that it's there. But they made a point to actually bring on Naoto Oshima. First off, I just want to say, this dude has the look of, hey, I'm not in jail, bitch. You know what I mean? So he's got that going for him.
I know.
They didn't really talk too much about the fact that he designed that new character, that new little robot guy. But he talked about Fang being back, and he's, I guess, a henchman for Eggman now. Yeah, cool. I mean, excited to see the game return. I'm excited to see like classic Sonic stuff return, and because I will be burnt alive for this. I'm doing that thing where I preemptively say I'm going to get canceled, I'm going to get destroyed. And I'm going to preface this by saying I liked Sonic Mania a lot. I liked it a lot. However, I don't think every 2D Sonic game needs to be pixelated. I don't think it needs to have a retro look. What I did like about Sonic Mania was that it wasn't just Genesis-era Sonic visuals. It was meant to be like, what if there was a 2D Sonic on Saturn? What would that look like? Cool. And I appreciate that as a retro enthusiast. But there's a lot of people that are disappointed that Superstars is a 3-dimensional character model game. And I feel like this looks way more exciting and inventive and inspiring to me than seeing another Mania lookalike. I will get killed. I will get canceled. I might have to end up being friends with Jeffrey Epstein's corpse and Kevin Spacey over this. I understand that not liking 2D retro Sonic stuff is akin to pedophilia to some of these people, but still.
Jesus Christ.
Jokes aside.
Too woke. Too woke.
Yeah, exactly. Jokes aside, I think this game looks really good. I think the multiplayer aspect might be fun. It's hard to say. What did you think when you saw kind of this stuff here?
Seeing Sonic Frontiers, like, that was generally hyped for that. I remember when we kind of were talking about it, I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. This looks different. We're excited for that. For this, I'm like, I kind of agree with you. It's like, there's been so many, like I said, like, either it's a remaster, basically, or a port of all these old games, and it's like, cool. I'm not really like a retro gamer too much myself. Like, I'm not that big into it. So I'm like, when that stuff comes out, that's why I'm like, kind of like, cool, great. Happy for the folks who want that. But yeah, for something like this, the more I see of it, I'm just like, yeah, I want to actually, I'm not just saying this because we have a Sonic, podcast. I actually do want to play it. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's been times when we've done stuff where I'm like, we got to play this, or yeah, this ain't my thing, but whatever. But yeah, this looks interesting. We're on the
record too of saying classic Sonic design is probably our most favorite Sonic design.
Short king Sonic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Any case,
I'm ready to be a superstar. Yes,
absolutely. And you can be a superstars too, because if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment in the comments below. What was your favorite part about Sonic Central? And I'm going to ask you the same question, folks, that I'm asking Devin right now. Number one, do we need one of these each year? Does this need to change? But really, because a lot of what this is a lot of advertisements on stuff that's already out, literal merchandise, not a lot of actual news, really. And even when they bring on a guy like Naoto Oshima, he's there to basically be PR for 3 words, and then he's gone, right? Even though, again, he's here to tell you he's not the one in jail. Do we really need to take something like this is my question to you. Do we really need to take something like this and put it in the same kind of bracket category as like a Nintendo Direct or like the Xbox
Sony's
Direct,
showcase,
Sony Showcase, PlayStation State of Play, even a Summer Games Fest? Is this in there?
An Apple event where they announce a $3,600 VR headset.
Yeah, yeah, and they say it's not an enterprise device, although that's enterprise pricing right there. They haven't even charged an iPhone that was that much money. You know what I mean? Or the Apple Watch, besides the ones that were made out of gold. They are not that much money. Do we collectively as Sonic fans need to look at Sonic Central as just a 20-minute commercial that's yearly, or do we really want it to be a Nintendo Direct? Do you want it to be a Nintendo Direct, or are you okay with it being a cute little 20-minute commercial? I'm going to ask you this, Devin. What do you think?
I mean, like, as I said earlier, I'm like, who is this for? It's definitely not for me. I'd rather just them announce, hey, here's footage from Superstars. Or like, okay, if you're gonna do one of these, maybe it isn't yearly, maybe it is as they kind of feel right to have them. Because this felt almost a little bit forced. Like I said, we're like, shit, we need to fill up some stuff with random stuff people can buy. Dive into Superstars, have an interview, even if it's a little boring. I'd rather have that
Show
than
off
being
a
like
level.
Roblox. Give me Roblox. It's like
Yeah.
no one's really saying Roblox. I think, and maybe they're still workshopping this too. I get it; it's every year, so they should probably improve a lot more rapidly, quote unquote rapidly. When I mean like every year, they should, I think, should be a lot better. I feel like the quality's been about the same, but I remember Nintendo Directs weren't like the first couple weren't really like well thought out, or maybe they were kind of like trying to figure out what it was going to be structured like. Because I remember at one point, wasn't it live too? And it was kind of like awkward.
They were always
remember...
pre-recorded, but like it wasn't just like, oh, here's a video being dropped. It was kind of like, oh, get ready. There's a Nintendo thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
they were definitely.
But I just
they
remember them
needed their
at first
their
not
footing.
being. They found kind of what works, and for the most part, like even though I don't give a shit about Nintendo too much, like people get hyped about it, right? And then Sony has done their own thing with PlayStation as well. Every year now, even the PS5 showcase during the pandemic, that was kind of hype for some folks. Then the Xbox would do their own. And as we get away from E3, and maybe this is how they feel that they can, pick how they want to like do their airtime. But
yeah,
I'd much rather it be 10 minutes if you're going to keep doing these. I don't think it needs to be 20. It didn't feel like 20, but like a lot of it was filler. So don't be afraid to just make it 5 minutes. I get if you're trying to hype this up to be like a Nintendo Direct, you kind of want to make sure it's lengthy, ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is for kids right now, and if you're trying to get us just general Sonic fans who are older and like more mature and have a adult jobs, I think they need to find that kind of sweet spot, because it's possible. Nintendo Direct is a good example where like kids are going to watch that and want to buy the new Mario game. They're going to go buy their mother to go get money for Mario.
But they also,
but it's also
do
for,
enough
for
of
the
a deep
journalists.
dive.
They do enough of a deep dive, whether it's Breath of the Wild when that was or not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I remember, what was it, 2 years ago, where they showed like 30-minute one where it felt like they were just diving into like what's going to be in it, what's the story about. I don't remember what year it was. Maybe it was
I
last
don't
year.
remember what year.
But you know what I mean. Yeah, like make half of this should have been about Sonic Superstars.
Yeah, honestly, yes, it should have been. There's a new Sonic game coming out.
Even if it's not new information.
Here's a level we're talking about. Here's how just more kind of like that IGN for Sonic Frontiers thing of like, give us the overview about what the game is. The best example I've ever seen of this type of thing was GTA 5 way back a decade ago, where they had this attractive sounding voice of a woman talking to you all about Grand Theft Auto 5, and it was really well produced, and it was going through each aspect in a deep dive, and it was also hype as shit. And as someone that didn't really care that much about GTA after like Vice City and like San Andreas, like I was like, oh yeah, I never bought that game. I never bought GTA 5, but still, like I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be cool. There's 3 people. There's 4 people in Sonic Superstars, so
right.
I will say
this is probably not the best example, but like when because of the game, how it launched, but like CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk, like before the game came out, they would do every like 3 months like a dive into like what they're working on, or like, hey, we're just going to talk about the vehicles. Hey, we're just going to talk about the characters. Hey, we're just going to talk about the city in general. What's the lore behind it? And like, I found that shit cool. It's one of the reasons I got the game, was because I'm like, cool, they're diving into like,
they told us that they care about the game,
right?
And we get
and
to
like
see
and maybe the game wasn't as polished, and I still think people were just, they love to just shit on things for the sake of shitting on things, because that's just internet. And I hope to one day maybe jump back into the game if I have the time. But like, yeah, I wound up getting interested more into it, being like, okay, like this is interesting. Oh, there's different classes. Okay, you explain to me what each class is, and I was able to decide. Okay, I want to be a nomad before going in, or whatever the classes were. You know what I mean? So give me some of that. I get Sonic is a different type of game and isn't like,
it's a much smaller thing, but still something that just says like, just give us any new information. They honestly
show
just
us an
didn't give
entire
anything.
level straight. Someone playing the entire level straight.
Absolutely.
For 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Show us some uncut gameplay. You know what I mean? The Nintendo Direct actually had level music in the Sonic Superstars thing that they showed there, and I was like, oh man, this is good. Tell us a little bit about that. You know, Sonic's like,
that should have been in this. If they were going to do this a week later, they should just.
Yeah, it's weird.
I get Nintendo Direct is probably a bigger audience, so I get why, but like, if your goal with this is to be like, this is where you need to go for all your Sonic news every year, what's on the horizon. We forgot to mention, by the way, one last thing was that they said Knuckles stuff is coming out this holiday season, and that we'll get more information soon. I think this missed opportunity to drop a teaser.
Was to give us some information now.
Or just have the director on, have one of the directors on just to talk about it. Like I said, it could be boring and maybe kids won't find it interesting, but if you want to expand the audience,
they did it in the first one with Sonic Prime, where they just had like the director producer of Sonic Prime just talk about his studio and that they've made cartoons before. Like, bro, if you're willing to put that in there, get Jeff Fowler on to talk about how he wrote like the first episode, I think, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get a showrunner
Idris
on there.
Elba come on, even if it's a 30-second. Like I know everyone memed with The Rock doing the video during the Game Awards and whatever, but like have that. I don't even care. Like have Idris Elba do a quick video being like, "Hey guys," or however. I did more of an Orlando Bloom there. You know what I mean? Just like having him come on and just talk about. Even if it's just like, I'm so excited. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I just think they have a lot of work to do. And you know, I want to be even harsher. I'd say you've done this for 3 years. It should be better. It goes literally, I made notes because if you do these every month and like, it's only been doing it for 4 months or whatever. Like, I'm just saying like every 6 months, let's say, and it's only been the second one. Okay, but this has been, you have 3 years, you have a whole year to work on these. If there was a more frequent, then I would let this pass.
They just want this. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm trying to help them out.
I wrote down the notes on what each one did because I'm like, it's the same thing. They had a little bit of Frontiers, a little bit of Origins, Sonic Symphony. There was merchandise. There was just a collaboration stuff, and like I had to write that stuff down. Here's my thing too, because you talked about like comparing it to the other big ones out there. Sega isn't a console manufacturer. They don't own a platform. And so therefore they end up on these other ones. So like if they're giving Sony an announcement for a game, then if this was before the Sony thing, I guess that they couldn't do that. If they're Sonic Superstars trailer is being shown at the Nintendo Direct, you know what I mean? But they could still do the deeper dive stuff here. This is where we'd want it. You give us the trailer of Superstars at the Summer Games Fest. You give us a Nintendo-specific one with Nintendo Switch footage at the Nintendo one. Now you tell us, to the people that are already excited about the game, why we should tell other people, because other people aren't watching this.
There is going to be 15 levels. There's 4 characters here, and we have you can see for the first time the first level of the game in its entirety. Yeah, let's watch.
Music by these people, character design, Naoto Oshima, again, someone who is definitely not in prison.
We sat down with blah 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 developer, and here's what they had to say about the process. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. I also think we look a lot.
Have
of people...
Idris Elba play that.
Oh, that'd be awesome. He would play as Knuckles, obviously.
Obviously.
I think we also tend to people get hyped about the Nintendo Directs because they're the first ones to kind of do this thing. It was literally E3 2013 was the first Nintendo Direct. It's about a decade ago. It's interesting. And we tend to get hyped. Nintendo fans tend to get overhyped, and we talk about grading them at the end because of the announcements and this and that, and then Sony comes along with State of Play and the PlayStation Showcase, and then the pandemic forces everyone to do these essentially. And I remember the Gearbox one that at an E3 or whatever, not E3, but Summer Games Fest was absolutely awful. Embracer Group did one that was just, it didn't need to be there. Everyone's trying all these things, and people tend to like give them letter grades, number grades, and talk about them as if they're a show they watch. And I get it. I get swept up into the building excitement of the hype and the one more thing, and oh my god, I remember E3 2016, the first thing at Sony's thing, I'm pretty sure, was God of War 2018, and they literally had people playing drums, and there was, like this deep guttural male chants, and it was like that for like a minute and a half before it opened up, and it was
shout out to Bear McCree there.
There was just this boy out in the snow playing with something, and he runs inside, and you hear a male voice said something into Kratos, and everyone freaks out. Exactly. I'm hungry is kind of what he says as he steps in. We're going to hunt. I'm hungry. And everyone's freaking out. That's awesome, and that deserves, I often think about people get more hyped about the hype for games than the games themselves, but it's still fun to do that. It's part of the fun. There's nothing wrong with that. But we need to remember these are all giant commercials. Even the Game Awards is a commercial. Because guess what? When Tears of the Kingdom probably wins Game of the Year, your friend who owns a Switch but hasn't bought Switch games in a couple years is probably going to think about getting the game again because he saw it at the Game Awards, and I guess it was really good because it won. It's that type of stuff, as well as all of the actual commercials and the trailers. Summer Games Fest, the same thing. Gamescom, Opening Night Live, Nintendo Directs are straight up Nintendo commercials. I don't really think it's that bad, but they've trained us to be hyped and predict commercial announcements and the dates a commercial's going to be at. You know what I mean? We have to think about it that way. Remember, this was a 20-minute commercial for Sonic merchandise, a Netflix subscription, the mobile games, and all that stuff. This was way more commercialized because nothing was really new.
That's why I'm not really disappointed in it, or I wasn't like hyped when they announced it. I just was like, oh, maybe we'll get Knuckles, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's gonna come out when it comes out. Yeah, I'm fine waiting. Yeah. I know we get like excited, like good examples like Fast X, but like at least with movies, like they just drop the trailer and like, okay, 3 months, see ya, see you there. At least that's what I like about the movie industry. At least with commercials and stuff, it's just like, here's the teaser and here's the trailer.
Yeah,
3 months. There's no
Yeah,
that's the issue I have with like a lot of these commercial shows here with like the Game Awards. They announce something, then we might not even see it.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I'm just getting hyped for no reason.
I remember Gamescom 2014. Sony has a showcase. It's so exciting. It's so hype. They're talking about a lot of PlayStation 4 games. And then, Michel Ancel, creator of Rayman, and I think Prince of Persia, and I think Beyond Good and Evil, and I think Assassin's Creed. But somewhere in there, big Ubisoft guy, he has his own studio now. He's making this game called Wild. And everyone remembers it, if they remember it, because of the giant woman with a snake tail, and she had her bare tits out or something like that. And everyone was like, you could turn in all these animals. And then that game was gone. It's just never talked about again. Because guess what? Michel Ancel started to do like mushrooms out in like Cambodia or somewhere crazy. No one's ever seen him again. Yeah. Something crazy like that. And he just disappeared.
I mean, mushrooms will awake you, and you will find your true destiny.
That was the same showcase as PT. Remember? PT.
Oh yeah.
That was that one. Yeah,
that's why for me now I'm just like, cool. I don't even let myself get to a level where I'm like, oh my god. Like even with God of War Ragnarok, I'm like, yeah, I know it's coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm hyped for it, but I'm not gonna be mad if it's not showcased at the awards or not. I'll be like, I'll watch the trailer when I do, or maybe I won't because maybe I don't want to be spoiled and I just want to go in with no sort of impressions going into it.
Yeah.
But I did ask on Twitter, at Sonic Movie Show. I did a poll.
Okay.
Where I asked.
I didn't.
So this is how we can tell what the Sonic fans are thinking, because we know we get thousands and thousands of votes. You actually can still vote, folks. You have. Well, I guess by the time this goes up, it'll be over. But I asked, did you like the Sonic Central? I had 4 categories. Best one yet. It was good. Fine, and disliked it. 5% said best one yet. Okay. 11% said it was good. 42% said fine, and 42% disliked it.
Wow.
Granted, it's 19 votes, so I'm sure there's thousands watching this. But hey, yeah. I'm sure they're looking at it afterwards, the marketing team and whatnot, and seeing what people's reactions are. But I think that's fair. I would say it was fine, because I didn't go in expecting anything too crazy. I wouldn't say I'm disappointed there wasn't any of these things. And I know we just kind of went on a tangent about we need to add these things, and I'm just trying to help them out, honestly.
It's always fun to be like, how can we make it better? And I feel like but
it's not the end of the world. If they keep doing these things, we're gonna keep watching it, because it's part of the podcast.
Well, so, yeah.
But I hope I would like them to be better, but and have so we could talk about more stuff. Be like, oh, they talked about how there's 4 characters and they really broke it down. I thought that was it. I want to talk about that more than just being like, yeah, Roblox. Yep. Okay. So I guess from that regard, I'm not disappointed, but just more it'd been more fun to talk about Sonic Superstars more in depth with you today. But
right. Yeah. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below on this video. Again, if you're not watching us on YouTube, you got to see stuff. If you're not on YouTube, you don't get to see anything. So that's the video element to it. If you're in the comments below, tell us what you thought about Sonic Central 2023. I think it's safe to assume there will be one a year now, and no more than that for sure.
Forever.
If they're titling them,
even when Sonic is long gone, they're still going to find a way to make them. I don't know what it'll be about.
He turned 32 today, folks. Sonic turned 32.
When is he having kids? He has to start thinking about that. He's in that age.
Otherwise his eggs are going to dry up.
People don't know this. Porcupines or hedgehogs.
Porcupines, hedgehogs, they're all the same. Are they? Let us know in the comments
Marsupials. Below. I think so.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and the like at Sonic Movie Show. I'm on Twitter at Ethan Absolutely. Devin is on Twitter at CursonaFun. Sonic Movie Show is where you find polls such as the one. Clearly not enough of you saw that poll, so definitely go ahead. And remember, folks, none of us are ever going to jail, and you won't either if you continue to like this show.
Don't jinx it.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.